Welcome to Gibsland, daffodil capital of Louisiana, founded in 1884. Population 979, and it is in Bienville Parish in northern Louisiana. May 23rd, 1934, Bonnie and Clyde drove into Gibsland in a stolen tan 1934 Ford Model 730 Deluxe sedan, also known as a 1934 Ford four-door Deluxe. They stole the car in Topeka, Kansas. The car is now at Whiskey Pete's Hotel and Casino in Primm, near the California-Nevada border. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were the head of a Texas outlaw gang that robbed banks and murdered people on a 27-month crime spree that ended here in Gibsland. Historic site. From the payphone where you are standing, Texas Ranger Frank Hamer called Colonel Lee Simmons and said, "Then job is done. Bonnie and Clyde are dead. The bodies will be in Arcadia, but none of the officers were injured, and it's over." Little did the officers realize the real story will live forever. This is the historic gas station in Gibsland. It's abandoned now. Still have the gas pumps. Bonnie and Clyde stopped here at Ma Canfield's Cafe for a to-go breakfast sandwich. Bonnie was still holding half a sandwich after the ambush. It is now a Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. The Last Stop Cafe. This is the other museum in Gibsland. It's called the Authentic Bonnie and Clyde Museum. It says free admission, supported by donations and sales of festival t-shirts and souvenirs. This is what the road looks like on the way to the ambush site. This would have been the last things that Bonnie and Clyde viewed on the way down here. This is the ambush site and the two markers that are here. If you look down that road, that's where we just came from. The last ride of Bonnie and Clyde. 6 lawmen were standing in the bushes waiting for them. There's a rose here and some flowers at the actual first monument, which has been really defaced. But this site is where Bonnie and Clyde were killed by law enforcement officers. The other monument for the law officers also has a rose and a picture of the lawman. Deputy Sheriff Robert Alcorn, Bienville Sheriff Henderson Jordan, and Texas Ranger Captain Frank Hamer. The back left is Deputy Sheriff Ted Hinton, Chief Deputy Prentice Oakley, and Texas Ranger B.M. Galt. A 6-man posse led by Texas Ranger Frank Hamer set up an ambush site, and they were here 2 days waiting for Bonnie and Clyde. These are the woods across the street where the lawmen were waiting for Bonnie and Clyde. There's a little path up here. This is what the road looked like. Now remember, the road wasn't paved at that time. It was just a dirt road. And in the middle of the road, or on the west side of the road, they had a truck parked. They had taken a truck from Ivan Methan, who was a father of a gang member. They made the truck look like it was broken down and placed it by the side of the road so that Clyde would slow down to see it. And Clyde did slow down to see it. Over 130 shots were fired. Both had over 20 bullet holes.